Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Dr. Ganesh Mudegaonkar. Subscribe my channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more notifications. Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Dr. Ganesh Mudegaonkar. Subscribe my channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more notifications. Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Dr. Ganesh Mudegaonkar. Subscribe my channel. Don't forget. Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube. This is Dr. Ganesh Mudegaonkar. Subscribe my channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon for more notifications. Namaste friends. Hello everyone. I am very happy to share this thing with you. I think already you saw the news that our 27 students got qualified in JEE mains examinations, all the 4 attempts, and at the same time they are supposed to give JEE advanced examination. Today we were conducting that program. Today, that means we had felicitated them, and that's why we had changed the timing of our lecture. So everybody is here? If yes, let's begin with our lecture. Friends, in our previous lecture we saw the history and elements of the novel. Today we are going to see, along with history and elements of the novel, types of novel. Now those who are attending the lecture, will you please tell me which are the elements of novel? At least one element should be there. At least one element should be there. So please tell me which are the elements of the novel. Yes, I am waiting for your answers. You can give your answer in our chat box. Yes, please. Yes, Sunil Upase, is it possible for you to tell me the answer? Which are the elements of the novel? Already we saw all these things in history and elements of the novel, part 1. Now we are going to see part 2, 4.1, history of novel. But from this one, for the sake of our understanding, I had divided this lesson into 2 parts. So types of novel. Yes, Om, thank you. Theme is one of the element. Very good. Plot is another one. Very good. Theme, plot. Very good. Is it okay or shall I begin? Only Om is giving the answer. Yes, setting, very good. So I think only Om Jadhav is attending the lecture. Remaining students simply mere. They had started this video and now they are wandering here and there. If you are there, at least you have to give some answers. Very good, thank you, Om. So theme, plot, characters, settings, conflict, language and style. Very good, Shruti, thank you. Character, yes. So altogether we can say that these are the elements of novel: theme, then plot, character, setting, conflict, language and style. So these are the elements of novel. So what is meant by theme? Theme is the central idea of the novel which can be expressed in a nutshell. Then what is plot? Plot is essentially the story or the sorry course of events that make up the theme. Then character. Characterization is related to the plot as the course of events take place because of the certain behavior of characters. So two types of characters are there. Okay, first main character or main characters, and then subordinate characters. So for main character we are using the word protagonist. Okay, and he is having the struggle, he is having the conflict, he is having the fight with another force, and that force is being known as, or we are calling this force as antagonist. So protagonist versus antagonist. Then the next element is setting. Setting is the background in which the story takes place. Then the next important element is conflict, and just because of this conflict we are reading that novel. This conflict raises our curiosity. So the struggle between opposite forces in the story is called conflict. Conflict in the story provides interest and curiosity about the plot. And finally, language or style. The language and the techniques used by the author for the narration of the course of events is known as the style. Okay, so every author, every novelist is having their own style of writing. Now we are moving towards types of novel, and here is the first type, that is a realistic novel. So friends, when we think about realistic novel, the realistic novel is a fiction that gives the effect of realism. Already we are having the discussion that in 18th century, in 19th century, people got rid of that stories of whom? Of kings and queens and their downfall and all these things. But this realistic form of writing, a realistic form of emotions gives the better idea of writing, and at the same time people got attracted, readers got attracted towards this realistic kind of emotions, because we can see the actual reflection of society in these novels. And here are some of the examples. Okay, so here you can see, dear Martin, the hate you give, and so on. So basically when we think about the realistic novels, that time the characters are from society and they are behaving like us, they are behaving like middle class or lower middle class society, or from we can see that the reflection of the society in that particular novel, and that's why they are being called as realistic novels. So it gives us the effect of realism. आ रही है ना बात समझ में? Okay, if yes, type yes then. चलो, let's move to the next type of novel, picaresque novel. So what is picaresque? A picaresque novel narrates the adventures of the protagonist, who is an unconventional or a not respectable person in an periodic form. That means we saw that kind of writing where that hero is having that heroic deeds. हीरो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें करता है जिसे हम करना चाहते हैं लेकिन कर नहीं पाते, लेकिन वो सारी चीजें वो प्रोटोगनिस्ट जो है वो करता है, लेकिन जो अपना कन्वेंशनल तरीका है हीरो के बारे में सोचने का, वैसे कुछ भी या कोई भी चीज हम उस नॉवेल में नहीं पाते हैं, उस नॉवेल में हम देख नहीं सकते हैं, फिर भी उसे हम पढ़ते हैं। उस टाइप का जब राइटिंग हम पढ़ते हैं तो उसे कहते हैं हम पिका रेस्क्यू नॉवेल. ओके, and this is not the conventional kind of writing, and at the same time that maybe that hero, that main character is not a respectable person, maybe our protagonist is not a respectable person, okay, in that particular kind of writing. And one of the fine example is Mark Twain's novel The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Okay, and these are some of the characteristics of this novel. Okay, so this is picaresque novel. Now third thing is historical novel. A historical novel is a novel set in a period earlier than that of the writing. Means what? Basically something had happened. Okay, just imagine that you are writing a novel on Titanic and its complete journey. So already that thing had happened and you know the history, but how you are going to depict that thing, how you are going to write that thing? Okay, so you are going to set that particular period in 19, what we can say, from 1911 to 1914, 1915, what happened actually. Yes, you are going to depict, you are going to set that particular period, and that kind of writing should be there. And when you are writing that kind of novel, that time you need to think about the theme, then plot, then setting, then conflict, and then characters, and already you are having historical facts with you. So with the help of these kinds of writings, you are going to write that historical novel, and this kind of writing has been known as historical novel. Okay, let's begin. Let's move to the next type of novel. It is epistolary novel. Epistolary novel. So the epistolary novel is that in which the writer presents the narrative through a series or a correspondence or other documents. Means what? जला अपन जिसे हम कहते हैं कि लेटर राइटिंग, अरविंद अडिगा's The White Tiger, as we know, which got main Booker Prize. That means after Nobel Prize, this is one of the highest recognition of any kind of writing, and that is because he is from India. Arvind Adiga's The White Tiger, recently we saw the film also. So this is what, so this is, or this novel is written in that kind of form. Means what? You are telling your emotions, you are writing your emotions, and at the same time you are writing that emotions in a later form, in a document form, in a narrative form. That means you are telling the story. If you are a very good storyteller, that time you are expressing your emotions, you are expressing your intensive, what we can say, thoughts in this form, and that's why this kind of writing is being called as epistolary novel. So what are the characteristics of epistolary novel? So it is in the narrative form. Second, maybe this will be a series of letters or correspondence. That means yes, you wrote the letter, then you got the reply. So maybe that author, that writer, that novelist write the correspondence from both the sides, receiver and sender, and at the same time maybe with the help of some of the documents you can write this kind of novel. So this is what the epistolary novel, and one of the fine example is The White Tiger by Arvind Adiga. And this is the most, what I can say, popular kind of novel or type of novel, that is Gothic novel. Means what? The novel that includes, see, different types of emotion, and these emotions are terror, then mystery, horror, thriller, supernatural elements, इसका मतलब भूत, ये वो सारी चीजें, then doom, then death, decay, haunted buildings are called the Gothic novels. Especially in 18th century, the Wuthering Heights and all these kinds of writing. Okay, so these kinds of writings becomes more popular, and people nowadays also in 21st century also people are liking, or that means they are interested in these kinds of stories. So where you will find each and every emotion in a different form, or what we can say in extended form. Or sometimes we are not having that kind of, what we can say, sometimes we are not thinking the dark side of human mind, but here you will get that dark side, okay, in this novel. And that's why this form becomes little bit more popular everywhere in the world, because it includes terror, mystery, horror, thriller, supernatural kind of things, then doom, then death, decay, and at the same time haunted buildings, that place and palaces. And now you can understand from where these horror filmmakers are getting an inspiration. उनको कहाँ से इंस्पिरेशन मिलता है? बेसिकली ये सारी चीजें जो है वो किसी नॉवल में उन्होंने पढ़ी होती है या किसी ने लिखी होती है. ऐसे कोई सुपर नेचुरल एलिमेंट्स, जो अभी सुपर नेचुरल एलिमेंट्स है उसका जो है मोड़ तोड़ करके अलग अलग तरीके से उसे फॉर्म में डाल के उसकी कभी वेब सीरीज बनाई जाती है, कभी फिल्म बनाई जाती है. बट you will came to know that the things are coming from these kinds of writings, these kinds of novels. So this form is being called as the Gothic novel, okay, and these are some of the examples. Now another popular form of writing, that is autobiographical novel, and here we can see some of the examples. That is Sachin Tendulkar's Playing It My Way, then The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, or Mahatma Gandhiji's, yes, what is the name, do you know? So Keshav Nadgiri, sir, did you read any of these books? Yes, Wuthering Heights. And then, sir, from where the word Gothic is? Maybe you can consider this thing as your homework, but yes, definitely I am going to tell you that thing also, don't worry. Gothic means what? Okay, let's find out. Okay, after finishing this lecture I will share that thing on your group, don't worry about Gothic. Okay, then now we are moving towards autobiographical novel. Yes, so autobiography, okay, Gandhiji's world famous autobiography is, yes, do you know the name? Do you know the name? Will you please tell me? I will wait for 2 minutes. Don't search on Google Maharaj. Okay, don't take the help of Google Maharaj. If you know, yes, you can tell me. If you don't know, let it be. I will wait for 1 minute. Yes, Gandhiji's autobiography. It is My Experiments with Truth. Okay, so the autobiographical novel is the novel which is based on the life of the author. Okay, that means author is telling some of his, what we can say, personal experiences. At the same time that author is sharing his life with you. Yes, Vaishnavi, thank you. Satyache Prayog, Majhe Satyache Prayog. Okay, in English it is being called as My Experiments with Truth. Thank you. Okay, so the things are like this one, where that particular person is sharing their personal experiences. From these experiences we are getting different kinds of emotions in our mind, we are having different types of thoughts. Got the idea? Sometimes, or however, the author changes the places and the names of the characters, or even may change or avoid certain details of his life. Sometimes in, okay, some of the people, they write, that means write these things without any kind of restriction, but some people will, that means what we can say, that they don't want to put on that particular controversy. Okay, and that's why they are not writing some of the things. But yes, some of the people, they are writing controversial kind of things. So, and maybe this will be the funda to get the popularity also, but some of the autobiographies gives us inspiration. So these are some of the examples of autobiographies. Okay, now allegorical novel, this is one of the fine and best form of writing. Basically when we think about allegory means what? Sarcastic comments on some of the things. Actually, if you want to write on any person, and if you are not able to write about that particular person, if you are not able to write about any political kind of thing, then you can take the animals, you can take that particular jungle, and in that jungle you can give our human emotions to that animals. And here that animal farm is the one of the fine example. Another thing is that Lord of the Flies. Okay, this is another example. So an allegory is a story that bears more than one level of meaning. ओके अभी यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि एक पिग है और वो सारे सारे दूसरे जो एनिमल्स है वो भी आप देख लीजिए, उनकी इमोशंस और इनकी इमोशंस। तो यहीं पे आपको पता चल जाता है कि क्या है एलेगरी। वो भी उन पे चिल्ला रहा है और उनकी इमोशंस देख लीजिए। सिंपली यू कैन ऑब्जर्व द पिक्चर and this is what the thing. So the symbolic meaning of an allegory may be political, religious, historical or philosophical, but at the same time 2, 3, 4 types of meanings are there. Merely don't think that animals are speaking with one person to another. No, it's not like that. I will give you another example, that is Ice Age. Basically this is not the form of allegory, but in Ice Age, from Ice Age 1 to Ice Age 5 or 6, whatever it may be, I don't know, but I saw, I think already from Ice Age 1 to Ice Age 5. So where you're getting that emotion, at the same time they're depicting, they are telling us that particular age in a different form, but they are taking the help of the animals. Okay, and then another example of this kind of writing, already I told you, with animal form, Lord of the Flies. Flies, you know flies. So this is what the thing. So an allegory is the story that bears more than one level of meaning. Then another popular form, very few people read these kinds of writings, but yes, utopian or dystopian novel. So utopia is an imaginary community or society possessing the ideal qualities. That means they are creating, they are having that ideal kind of qualities, and just because of these qualities, okay, in their imaginary life they are creating this kind of picture. What kind of picture? Where the society is complete at its peak, they are having that ideal kind of behavior, they are having that ideal kind of characters, okay, and that ideal qualities gives you the, what we can say, that rosy picture, very good picture of the society. It is a common literary theme, especially in science fiction or speculative fiction, where people are using, because they want to give the details about the science, they want to give the details about the new inventions. That time they are having their own kind of thinking, they are having their own world, okay, they are not entering in our human world, okay, that third or fourth world will be there in their novel, and that's why they are being called as utopian or dystopian novel. So Starhawk is one of the best example. By Starhawk, it is a city of a refugee, okay, by Starhawk. It is one of the best seller. Then a psychological novel, interesting kind of writing, where we are dealing with human emotions, okay. So the psychological novel is the work of the fiction that treats the internal life of the protagonist or even the other characters as much as the external factors. So look my friends, when we think about psychological novels, sometimes you are not able to express your emotions, you are not able to say something. आपके अंदर बहुत सारी चीजें जो है वो छुपी हुई होती है, लेकिन आप कह नहीं पाते। तो ये सारी चीजें कहने का तरीका जो है किसी एक ने यहाँ पे ढूंढ निकाला, उस तरह की राइटिंग उन्होंने शुरू कर दी। और वो शुरू करने वाले कौन थे? वो थे वर्जीनिया वुल्फ। उन्होंने ये सारी चीजें लिखना शुरू की थी। दैट मीन्स व्हेन यू आर नॉट एबल टू एक्सप्रेस योर इमोशंस इन अ प्रॉपर वे, दैट टाइम you need to write something, you need to express yourself, and that kind of writing, okay, comes in the psychological novels, and that's why these kinds of writing becomes little bit more popular in the society. Or even other characters, okay, they are having, okay, the impact of society, and at the same time they are having that internal conflict also. So this kind of, what we can say, complex kind of emotions, different types of emotions we are getting in this psychological novel. And one of the fine example is to the Lighthouse by whom? Virginia Woolf. Got the idea? Got the idea of psychological novel? Okay, then the next version of psychological novel we can say, that is stream of consciousness. Means what? The flow of thoughts. Sometimes you are having different types of thoughts in your mind and you are not able to control that, or sometimes you don't want to control that thoughts. Okay, simply it should get flowed, and that kind of flow is being called as stream of consciousness. Incidents in the plot are in the sequence of their occurrence. Simply that things are happening and you are facing that things, and at the same time you are ready to face the consequences of these kinds of things. You are ready to face the, what you can say, upcomings of these kinds of things, and that's why this stream of consciousness type of writing becomes more popular in a different way. Very few readers are reading these kinds of things, because here you will find the complex kind of emotions. Okay, they are written in a different form, and at the same time sometimes you are not getting acquainted with these kind of writings, these kinds of characters, and that's why, okay, stream of consciousness becomes more popular in writings. So this is what the stream of consciousness type of novel. Then most interesting kind of writing or type of writing is Bildungsroman novel. Once again I will pronounce this word, Bildungsroman novel. The German word Bildungsroman indicates growth. Okay, so this is the growth of anything. So the fictional biography or autobiography is concerned with the growth of the protagonist's mind, spirit and characters from their childhood to adulthood. Got the idea? Means what? If any person is having his, what we can say, childhood details, then he is telling us his college life or her college life, and then how he has reached to that particular, what you can say, destination. So that complete journey or the life journey of that particular character is being depicted, is being described in this kind of writing, and that's why this kind of writing is being called as Bildungsroman type of novel. So here we can see our main character's mind and its setting, how it got changed from childhood to adulthood, then the spirit about the life, and how that particular main character or characters got changed from childhood to the adulthood. Then the next important part is science fiction. So the science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic setting, futuristic science and technology, space travel, time travel, parallel universes and extraterrestrial lives. One of the best example, okay, from the films, maybe you are watching some of the films, that's why. So the best example is Avatar. Okay, Steven Spielberg's, if I am not wrong, Steven Spielberg's movie Avatar. Okay, so science fiction, and see, so many films are there from, okay, from US or from, what you can say, from Britain, especially from England. They are using this science fiction in a different form. Okay, they are using their imagination at next level. Yes, they are using some of the scientific kind of things. Okay, but at the same time they are using these concepts in a futuristic setting. Okay, in 2050 what will happen? Okay, in 2090 what will happen? So that kind of futuristic science and technology is involved in this kind of writing. Okay, first scientific as well as we can say science fiction is, according to me, is The Invisible Man. Okay, sci-fi Sci and fi means what? Scientific fiction. And then the space travel, how we are traveling. Okay, gravity is one of the fine example of this kind of writing, or we can see the film and then you can understand what kind of writing, what kind of screenplay it was. Then the parallel universe. Okay, now we are living on Earth, maybe you will reach to the Mars, and then so on. And extraterrestrial things, now we are having the life on Earth, maybe on Mars different kind of life will be there, so that thing is being called as extraterrestrial life. And here are some of the examples: Rainbow's End, The Humans, or the Station 11, Inc. Okay, and so on. So this is what the science fiction is. So friends, from my side, this is what the types of novel. So once again we'll revise: science fiction, Bildungsroman novel, stream of consciousness type of novel, psychological novel, utopian or dystopian novel, then allegorical novel, autobiographical novel, gothic novel, epistolary novel, historical novel, picaresque novel, or realistic novel. And already we saw the elements and history of the novel. So this is what 4.1 is. Okay, history and elements and types of novel. Okay, yes, any difficulty? Are you getting the thing? Did you got the idea? Yes, are you getting the things? Okay, just now I got the question from one of my friend. I searched on the internet and I got this word that Gothic originally meant having to do with a Goths or their language, but its meaning eventually comes to the encompasses all the qualities associated with Germanic culture, especially the Germanic culture dominating during the medieval period after the fall of Rome. That means what? After the fall of Rome, that barbarians were present over there and they are having their own kind of language at the same time life, and from that particular thing we got this word Gothic. Okay, another thing is that from 1530, okay, we got this word, and who use this word, that particular person's name is Gaigro Vasari. He used this Gothic word in 1530 because he thought building from the Middle Ages were not carefully planned and measures like Renaissance building or the buildings of ancient Rome, and that's why he has used this word Gothic. Okay, so these are some of the things. Yes, so Vaishnavi, Nivedita, thank you. Anything else from your side? If no, then should we stop? And that's why he has used this word Gothic. Chalo.